So this is a prose poem called Losing It. Help, I've lost my temper. Darn it all, I have no idea where I put it, and it could be your fault. So if you don't like my language, you can leave. Wait, you traitor, you can't go. You gotta stay and help me find that God-blessed temper. Did I leave it with the cashier? Help, I've lost my sense of humor. Again? I thought I left it in my back pocket. How annoying, must have slipped into the vacuum cleaner. Say, between one traitor and another, could you please stick your hand in the bag and see if it's there? If you find it, I promise to share it evenly. Oh no, now I've lost all sense of hope, and there's nothing you can do about it. Maybe I never had it in the first place. Maybe it was somebody else's, and the only way to get it is from some friendly politician who offers his. Can you believe this? I just lost all sense of time. Or was it yesterday? Did it run off with my sense of dignity? Good grief. No dignity, no temper, no humor, no hope. Oh, looky here. A little sense of dignity is hiding under the rug. Wonder what else is under there. Fingers crossed.
So the first is called Slow Down, Lady. Slow down, lady, slow down. It's not pockets full of lead, but knees without cartilage, lungs with fibrosis, and too many years in which time has battered the rest of me. I stop, can't keep up with you, watch you big stride away along the busy sidewalk. 20 seconds before you realize you're not still dragging me in your whirling wake. What's wrong, you call? Knees, lungs, time. People look from you to me, making what they can or will of it. It is just the born work-die routine. You're vigorously working, I'm resting between gigs. There's another one I can do quickly called Jaguar. She knows I am no threat to her, and she has recently eaten. Long dead meat she has not brought down herself, and there is a heavy chain link fence between us. I look at her patterned gold-brown body resting in the grass, preferring sleep in the sun, no doubt, to this edge of wariness my idle presence keeps her in. No threat, but why am I still here? We both wonder. After some minutes, she opens gold eyes slowly and looks ahead, not deigning to turn their glory towards me, though I can feel her attention. She eases out a deep, low rumble that makes my stomach tighten. Alert for a wrong movement, narrowing the cold black eyelids that said, next will be claws, then teeth, and a lunge towards your throat faster than you can imagine. What happened to her lowland forest, the sharp sting of the dart, and waking in this northern zoo? Does she notice the different stars, a nocturnal hunter pushed into the noonday sun? I want to treat her as a guest, to offer something. Though I can think of nothing she would value apart from this body, I'd rather keep intact. Something to expiate guilt for our treatment of the wild things of the earth.
Old maps. In unmediated madness, she lashed maps into me, reinforced boundaries, tallied the times I strayed, and she stayed up, straight as the midnight hour. I barely, white space dissolving to red, as sound fled from my pounding heart wanting out, gripped her wrist. The black whip writhed, its metal mouth gaping to be fed, until she faced my blood-flushed stare. Don't you dare. I'm your daughter. I can be just like you. It cost all of me to not rain blows that would rainbow the flesh it fell on, like my legs that suddenly felt too long. These tears are tarnished, an oily metallic trespassing from old maps. What good is old badness? It was unmedicated madness. 2. Upon a lifetime's pile of rice, hand-picked, and soiled clothes, hand-washed, The prized dryer still spared every encumbrance. Grandmother sits, salivating for sensationalist TV and a good meal. Again you hop into her bosom, another version, a kokeshi for happiness this time, ignoring the knife knocking in my middle that you sharpened, my heart a stake. Grandmother, illiterate in mother tongue, you deciphered the syllables of seasons. In harvest, the hoe's rhyming strikes. Pour, more, chore, pour. You dug into your daughter, balanced two loads of clothes with the caesura of your back, and walked along the paws of your stomach between dawn and dusk. You shipped us bundles of dried pliable bamboo, a loving thing to hit with, Mom defended, for a child's discipline of simple sins. But harder things came. 3. Mother, you are waltzing on happiness, a clean white floor, and say you are spotless. So should I forgive what you have forgotten? That tax of love may finally be too costly. I remember the feel of your old maps and learn a new ache of a changed cartography. But I see that the space is mine and like the wild peace of sunrise. Thanks.
Tonight I'm also reading a poem by somebody else because I was walking alone at night, and this is a poem about women walking alone at night and this woman's feeling about it. Many of you will know or be familiar with June Jordan, but maybe not this poem. So hopefully you'll enjoy it. It's called Poem About My Rights, and I'm not going to read it all because it's a long poem, so I have just chosen to be under 3 minutes. Poem About My Rights by June Jordan. Even tonight, and I need to take a walk and clear my head about this poem about why I can't go out without changing my clothes, my shoes, my body posture, my gender identity, my age, my status as a woman alone in the evening, alone on the streets, alone not being the point being that I can't do what I want to do with my own body because I am the wrong sex, the wrong age, the wrong skin, and suppose it was not here in the city, but down on the beach or far into the woods, and I wanted to go there by myself, thinking about God or thinking about children or thinking about the world, all of it disclosed by the stars and the silence. I could not go and I could not think and I could not stay there alone as I need to be alone because I can't do what I want to do with my own body. And who in the hell set things up like this? It was my father saying I was wrong, saying that I should have been a boy because he wanted one, a boy, and that I should have been lighter skinned, and that I should have had straighter hair, and that I should not be so boy crazy, but instead I should just be one, a boy. And before that, it was my mother pleading plastic surgery for my nose and braces for my teeth, and telling me to let the books loose, to let the books loose. In other words, I am the history of rape. I am the history of the rejection of who I am. I am the history of the terrorized incarceration of myself. I am the history of battery, assault, and limitless armies against whatever I want to do with my mind and my body and my soul. And whether it's about walking out at night, or whether it's about the love that I feel, or whether it's about the sanctity of my vagina, or the sanctity of my national boundaries, or the sanctity of my leaders, or the sanctity of each and every desire, that I know from my personal and idiosyncratic and indisputably single and singular heart that I have been raped because I have been wrong, the wrong sex, the wrong age, the wrong skin, the wrong nose, the wrong hair, the wrong need, the wrong dream, the wrong geographic, the wrong sartorial. I have been the meaning of rape. I have been the problem everyone seeks to eliminate by forced penetration or without the evidence of slime and butt. Let this be unmistakably this poem, my poem, your poem. It is not consent. I do not consent to my mother or my father or the teachers, to the FBI, to South Africa, or to Bedford-Stuy, to Park Avenue, to American Airlines, or to the hard-on idlers on the corners, to the sneaky creeps in cars. I am not wrong. Wrong is not my name. My name is my own, my own, my own. And I can't tell you who the hell set things up like this, but I can tell you that from now on, my resistance, my simple and daily and nightly self-determination may very well cost you your life. Thank you.
Cool white tulips. You know I'd rather write what we'd both be pleased to read. Nothing fatuous or cruel or cowardly or in greed. Buoyant words with brass low and murmuring, partially engulfed, partially steering. There in a park before the dark even sea, jaywalking return through warm hushed streets. Soft speech on verandas, taking leave and turning in, a demure cat or dog in their generous reaches. And okay, a lone soul washed up by the retreating tide of traffic and mind, a man let go of through space but by time. Then finally, when the crows go east through the sky to their roosts, and the grass and the trees rest assured in their roots, in cool white tulips I'm waiting. The ghosts at sunset inveigle, and it's up to you to forgo their slippery trails, their phantom ways. The untrained mind is set to believe them, to furnish itself with their less Egyptian musings. It's up to you, it's down, it's even, whatever it is, a warm, bright woman, a city that breathes smoke and water, a chair, the desire to move a heavy body, this primo chickpeas ash can. Gladdened, impassive, wired, deceased today, long life today, asphalt and effluence, mental silence, lilac and sand, scat and surfeit, bedding an arm and a body, diffident eye. I have sworn, riding on the sea's navel, crushing my bones, lying in bed swollen with thought, it is not this. Red-eyed quotation of infirmity, the bastards and balustrades, money in the seats, ice water, your hands, touch in the day-night, the bead of called-off hunts, the bead, the dew, shed and ringing song, loved and barely seen in these views.
Several months ago, I was sitting in a webinar on lung cancer, and I heard Dr. Jack Werner from San Diego Medical Center talking about how doctors were having to change their manner of interacting with patients. And he used a phrase, bedside to webside, and that's the name of this poem. Bedside to webside. We've talked virtual medicine for years. Now overnight, we are thrust from rich 3 dimensions with live body motions to flat, disconnected, hard to read thoughts and technology glitches. Where is the comforting touch and the steadying hand, the Kleenex for tears? How do I bring my bedside manner to an unreal world? Learn to connect through this flat screen and tinny voice. Deep breaths and grounded before I start. Eye contact through the camera and not the screen. Exaggerated movement and careful words. Acknowledge the weeping I see. Breaking bad news in the gentlest way. I'm sorry, there is progression. The cancer is growing again. You don't have long now. And then one day, I know this world is mine. When she says, thank you for sitting with me and hearing my fears, though we're miles apart, it feels like you're here at my side as we twinkle wave goodbye.
I'm going to read something that was in Poetry Pause. You may have seen it on Friday, and it's called Another Spring. There are green buds on lilac through this window of rain, as birds flock to their landings on bare branches of spring. Spring lands in its timing, in its snowmelt, in its vein, and clings green to branches against wind. There is always another spring, another season of worms, another shower of birds and grass in its greenness. It's the grass through the rain. Grass blankets your bed. For new birds, for worms, for us. For there is always another spring, another season of rain. You left us vacant through this season of strain. And rain comes down hard on windows, comes down soft, battered. All transitions are weary. All transitions return. Turning springs to falls, winters turns us all to earth, to green blankets, spring worms. Could I read one quick one as well? Well, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. So the first line of this one is taken from William Carlos Williams' The Red Wheelbarrow. And this poem is called In Garden. So much depends on your voice, echoed. Inside a cracked wheelbarrow, the hollowness of your tone, time, and faltering through a fault metal.
I was thinking in this time of smoke about a poem I wrote 15 years ago. And it's called Shadows from the Fire. And the note on this is it was right after Hurricane Katrina destroyed New Orleans, and Burns Bog was burning here on September 11th, 2005. And I was thinking, we had smoke here in Vancouver, and the poem is written from a point of view of we, who are ancient folks here on the Northwest coast, and they were a southerly tribe, also troubled by natural disasters. And they were troubled by the destruction of their two towers. And this poem is a plea to primitive powers to take away this problem of these disasters. It's in the form of, it's 17 lines of heptasyllabic verse. We told them it was good here to net fish from clean water and share stories under cedars by warm light of driftwood fires. But crows fly early through the red sky, smoky as the bog burns, strange signal to our Southland kin, displaced by wind and flood, their rough trek over the pass not soothed by gritty breath and dry creek beds without comfort, recalling when strong eastern watchtowers fell under siege. Oh, tall shadows, tales too grim to paint on cavern walls, rise up to dance with shooting stars and leave our folk in peace.
I'm reporting from Kite Land, New Westminster, where the smoke is even worse. And I have a work poem dedicated to Mark and Tom, but it is about Gary Geddes. Gary Geddes reads from false work. At the 50th anniversary of the Second Narrows Bridge collapse, June 17th, 2008. The iron worker's labor is, in Gary's words, ballet, grace under pressure. I stop my car to hear their memorial. Other bridges and overpasses collapse. Why this one before even finished? The fault, the weakness, not theirs. It was support, the false work. 18 were lost, 2 missing, 1 diver. Hundreds have assembled for this ceremony, the 50th anniversary. They tell of the noise, how metal shrieked on metal, the shudders, shouts, screams. The second narrows water, tidal, churning, murky, hid twisted metal, swallowed bodies. A man dangled, nameless. An angel from below, a diver, pushed, leg up to safety. Poets listen, awestruck, as diver Phil Newton paints this picture. I found men underwater, upright. Life jackets held them up. Tool belts held them down. At UBC, engineers' rings hold a bit of this bridge. Bridge, rings, Gary Getty's book, their memorials, this poem, a ripple effect, the ripples effect.
This is a poem inspired by a poem called Autumn by P.K. Page, whom I've recently discovered. And her poem was inspired by Autumn Day by Rainer Maria Rilke. Sometimes life just gets away. Sometimes life just gets away. Try as you might, try as you will. The harness won't fit, the horse will balk. What will the neighbors say in their talk, talk, talk? Farmer Jones makes no bones about his back 40 plans. The rain deserts, the crops recede, the debts rise up like a reaper grim. The children cry with hunger pains, old faces resemble the 30s drought. Hard work just does not pay. Sometimes life just gets in the way. Folks don phantom judges' robes and people judge as if sworn in. They judge the people's color of skin. They judge the losers. They tell themselves they win. Their leader hides his devil duds and smiles, even as he snakes his venom out. The score stands 10 to them, to us still nil. Try as you might, try as you will. Social life takes one bad turn, and sometimes life gives you bad heartburn. Your efforts fly like kites that have no tail. Your words returned like tennis balls. Cooperation becomes a very bad word, and you're even dissed by a kid with balls. Sometimes it seems the reapers stalk. The harness won't fit. The horse will balk. Talk should heal all your wounds. Talk it out, they say, talk it out. But rumors are a substitute for talk. Circular talk or an argument still won't make, and sometimes your opponent is on the take. Your brain is now a moth in the dark. You're over your head, you're out to sea. There is no dock, and what will the neighbors say in their talk, talk, talk? Well, sometimes it's best to take a walk. And what will the neighbors say in their talk, talk, talk? Best of all, your love will stay, though sometimes life just gets away. And yet your hope remains, sustains your will, while try as you might, try as you will. In the end, you harness the horse, though the horse will balk. And in the end, who cares what the neighbors say in their talk, talk, talk? So, what will the neighbors say in their talk, talk, talk? When the harness won't fit and the horses will balk, while you try as you might, try as you will. But what the hell? Sometimes life just gets away. Thank you.